But for those who stand in your way and betray you, their day of reckoning will come.
Hey everyone, welcome back with Bino Mac, where today we're going to continue our playthrough of WWE Day of Reckoning 2. And we got what looks to be a prime suspect in this WrestleMania case. Before I address the World Heavyweight title situation, let me just say that the last 24 hours have been the worst ones of my life. For starters, I spent almost half of them being yelled at by Vince McMahon for ruining WrestleMania. He kinda did, honestly, by not keeping an eye on the belt. Let me tell you, Mr. McMahon surely has a way with words, especially the four-letter ones. Oh boy. After comparing me to various unmentionable parts of the human anatomy, he threatened to fire me if I didn't recover the missing title. And I've got to say, that seemed like a blessing. At least if I was fired, I wouldn't have to face Mr. McMahon any longer, so why don't you just quit? But then he came up with something worse. Uh-oh. He's decided to keep me on as Raw's general manager because he said it would be too cruel to put anyone else in the position. Well, the entire locker room is furious at me for losing the World Heavyweight title. Now let me get one thing straight. I didn't lose anything. The title was stolen from my office. Should have had security. And since you were supposed to face Triple H for it last night, that makes you a prime suspect in my book. Well, then your book's missing a few pages, Eric. Why the hell would I steal a title that was about to become mine? Everyone in this arena knows Triple H wasn't going to win. It wouldn't be the first time I beat him for that title at WrestleMania. About to become yours? You're living in a dream world, pal. You might have gotten lucky at last year's WrestleMania. But you seem to have forgotten that it wasn't too long before that title was back where it belonged. Around the waist of the cerebral assassin. I'll give you credit, you were good enough to be a member of Evolution once upon a time. And when we kicked your ass to the curb, you beat Batista, you beat Orton, you beat Ric Flair, and one time only, you beat me. They're really recapping the first game's story. And you picked the right time to do it in the main event of WrestleMania. Yeah, you won the World Heavyweight title once. The thing is about it though is that, I don't know, I mean, I've picked the Raw path. Come back once you've won it 9 more times, and then you can pretend you're in my league. Spare us a history lesson, Triple H. This isn't about you. This is about Raw's World Heavyweight title. Until it turns up, Raw won't have a World Heavyweight champion, and that is simply unacceptable. What are you talking about, Bischoff? Just have a new belt made and let us face each other for it. Interesting concept. It's not like they haven't done it before. I don't understand why you didn't just have the title match at WrestleMania anyway and award the champion a new belt. They really should have put it on anyway, honestly, yeah. Doesn't really make much sense. Triple H, you more than anybody knows that the title isn't just a belt. It represents the history of our business. There's like 100 replica belts out there. Come on. It's a physical representation of the blood, sweat, and tears that have been shed over the years. And I bet you tried to convince Mr. McMahon to let you do just that, Bischoff, and he shot you down. Am I right? There are replica belts all over the place. Sell them. Mr. McMahon wasn't exactly receptive to the idea, no. He said that with the title vacant, every superstar in the locker room would be searching for it. No one wants to be on a show without a world championship title. What if a fan actually just stole it and that was on the story? And if one of the title contenders did steal the title, well, Mr. McMahon thought that it wouldn't be long before it showed up again. Okay, so I think that's even more of a reason to do it. Once he realized that he wasn't just going to have a new one handed to him. So, Triple H, what are you saying, Bischoff? That I took the title? Maybe insinuating it. You got some nerve accusing me of stealing the one thing I need more than anything else in the world. Wait, are you arguing for or against what Bischoff's saying? I mean, who the hell steals something that they don't need? It's a good point, Kai. It's a good point. Listen to me very carefully. Taking a belt of gold and whether it doesn't make someone a champion. Beating a mouthy punk like you on the biggest stage of them all. That's what makes someone a champion. Tough talk, Hunter. Almost tough enough to make everyone forget that every time there's trouble around here, you're usually behind it. Ooh. Got him there. I was backstage with Stacy all night long. She can vouch for me. But while we're pointing fingers, your best pal, Ric Flair, was nowhere to be seen last night. Seems kinda strange that he wouldn't make it to WrestleMania. Or maybe he did, and no one saw him. That's true. Hey, leave the Nature Boy out of it. Thanks to Chris Jericho's completely unprovoked attack on him, Nate couldn't even come to the show. Seems a likely story, pal. How do you think that felt? A 16-time world champion having to sit out WrestleMania. My heart bleeds for him. That just seems a little convenient. Don't you think? It's probably Triple H, honestly. Hey, how convenient is it gonna be for you when I conveniently stick my foot right up your ass? It's not really defending him. So yeah, I mean... Uh-oh. It's actually amazing how big this guy was during his short tenure in the WWE. Typical Americans. First, our general manager is so incompetent he can't even secure Raw's most important championship. Then, instead of taking responsibility, he demands that the Raw superstars have to fix his mistakes. It's not wrong, honestly. And despite the fact that they no longer have a title to fight over, two of Raw's top superstars can't stop arguing. And posturing enough to put aside their differences and deal with the matter at hand. Alright, Muhammad, if you're so eager to help out with the search for the missing World Heavyweight title. Yes. How about you tell us what you were up to when it went missing? And there it is. Something goes wrong and the first person you accuse is an Arab American. Everybody's getting accused, pal, but you know, that's kind of the gimmick. I thought this was America, where all citizens are innocent until proven guilty. We did just ask you the question, we didn't say you were guilty yet. And in case you've forgotten, I'm an American citizen. Oh yeah, where's your passport? Oh, just an American to ask for passports. Well, the great thing about America is that even jackasses like you and Triple H have the right to run your mouths off. Actually, you don't really need a passport now when I think about it. And the great thing about WWE is that I can challenge both of you to back up your tough talk right in the ring. Alright, hold it right there. This isn't getting us anywhere. Kai, you and Triple H clearly have unfinished business with each other, and the fans never got to see you two go one-on-one. They kinda did at last year's WrestleMania. Have you been paying attention, Eric? So I am going to make a very special match at Backlash in 3 weeks' time. Ooh. It will feature Triple H versus Kai in a steel cage. Ooh. Are you saying it's a WrestleMania Backlash? That was a terrible pay-per-view name. And if it is found between now and then, this match will be for the World Heavyweight title. Interesting. And as for tonight, you'll both have singles matches, and Triple H, you can settle your grudge against Chris Jericho. Triple H looks kind of miserable for some reason. And Kai, since you and Muhammad Hassan seem to have issues with each other, settle them in the ring. You mean like how I just said we could? I think it's cool too. Muhammad Hassan actually has an entirely different model in this game. Not entirely different, but the color, you know, is for his outfit's different. Because I think in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 it was gold. But yeah, he was actually a very entertaining and interesting character. I think they definitely ruined it with the whole making him like a actual terrorist, in my opinion. Like that was just very untasteful. Like, I don't usually care too much about, you know, taste in wrestling and stuff like that. But the Ruthless Aggression era, it got pretty nasty. Not to say the Attitude Era didn't have nasty shit. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You can say that the Katie Vick was the worst angle there was, but Mae Young giving birth to a hand, I mean, that is by far the dumbest angle that they ever did. And yes, I am openly saying that someone giving a 70, 80-year-old woman giving birth to a hand is dumber than necrophilia. Put that on record. Not that I'm in favor of that nasty stuff, I'm just saying. But Muhammad Hassan, they had some really good characters around this time that weren't given. They were only pot good for a short amount of time, unfortunately. They could have been, not all of them necessarily main eventers, but I think the Ruthless Aggression era, there was definitely a lot of, Jesus, I'm looking like an idiot. But the Ruthless Aggression era, definitely a time where there's a lot of promising mid-cutters that never were able to ascend the card for one reason or another. Carlito, I think was definitely one of them was in this game. I hope he's going to be used in this game at some point, you know, for a storyline. Mr. Kennedy, which I think people have said that those two sabotage themselves. I guess Carlito was more about getting laid, according to JR. I think JR says on his podcast about Carlito 2 times that Carlito had all the talent in the world, but that he was too worried about his sword fighting or something like that. And saying how he was real smooth with the ladies and getting laid, I guess. Even though there's not really any stories about it, I mean, him and Bruce Pritchard have said that Carlito, kind of like CM Punk, was like super popular with the, you know, the WWE Divas and stuff like that. Which is interesting because Carlito never really went on. You never hear anything, stories about that, but that said, Carlito, I mean, he's probably one of the worst people I've ever seen as far as shoot interviews go, because he's kind of just so secretive and, you know, I don't know, like, I've seen like 1 or 2 shoot interviews with him, and when asked questions about, like, you know, who he's worked with and other people, you know, it's a good thing he's not just kind of talking shit about people and stuff like that, you know, that's cool, but he's also like, oh, so what do you think of this guy? Oh, he's cool. Yeah, he's a good guy. So he doesn't really ever have anything to say, which is kind of sad, because I mean, I would have loved to, I'm sure there's some interviews, and maybe I just haven't seen them, you know, just kind of his thoughts on his WWE run and, you know, stuff like that, you know, what he felt went wrong in it and why he didn't send higher up to the card and stuff like that. And as you know, as far as being literally called out on Raw by Ric Flair for just not taking things seriously. I like how they didn't really have a normal pin breakup animation, so they just kind of have it where you just lift their head up and their shoulders up every time in this game. It's actually a lot faster than I thought it would be. Didn't even get time to actually talk about Muhammad Hassan. As you people well know, I am a 10-time world champion. I am the be-all end-all in this business. The words are right in front of me and I can't read in this game. Jeez Louise. Every superstar back there looks in the mirror every morning and wishes he saw me staring back at him. They got some good smack talk in this game, it's funny. So if there's anyone in the back who thinks that I had anything to do with the World Heavyweight title, get your heads out of your asses. I had nothing to gain by stealing that title. Everyone knows that I would have won the main event of WrestleMania. You should be looking at an 11-time world champion. Technically we are. If you want to talk about suspects, ask yourself who stood to lose the most if that match had taken place. Who would have left WrestleMania with nothing but a blown title opportunity and absolute proof that he wasn't in my league? Kai, that too. So Kai, what I'm asking you to do is this. Just bring the title back to Raw. And hand it over to me. No questions asked. I can hold on to it until Backlash and guarantee that it won't disappear again. Again. Hell, I'll even put in a word for you with Bischoff and McMahon. If I vouch for you, even a thief like you might have a shot at getting a match on Heat every now and then. Oof. Ooh, Stacy Keibler. Alright, Hunter, I've heard enough, and so have all these people. You heard Kai last week. She's always looking really irritated in this game. He was with me all evening. There's no way he could have taken the World Heavyweight title. That's a nice shirt she's wearing with the flower too, I gotta say. Trust me, he had his hands full. Well, that clears that up. I mean, what would you possibly have to gain from Kai stealing the title? Except not seeing your boyfriend humiliated in the main event of the biggest show of the year. I think she'd be jealous of the time I'd be spending with the title, honestly. Hell, knowing Kai, you were probably the brains of the operation, and that's saying something. Damn, the insults. Edge, huh? Yeah, that's definitely his same model from 2006. There's no doubt about it. I love how he also just had no shame looking at her ass. Triple H, for 2 weeks in a row now, I've had to listen to you complain about how you've been robbed. You want to talk about being robbed? How about the fact that every time I get near the World Heavyweight title, there's a conspiracy to keep me from winning it. And 9 times out of 10, you're the champion when it happens. I think this is definitely the coolest looking match of his career. I think you probably sold the title simply so you wouldn't have to defend it against me after WrestleMania. We've all heard you say over and over that you're the cerebral assassin. You're a 10-time world champion. You can't live without the title around your waist. Blah, blah, blah. You might call that passion, but I call it a motive. Although I've got no love for Kai, I have a hard time picturing him and Stacy as Bonnie and Clyde. If I have to believe your story or Stacy's, I'll choose Stacy every time, even if she does have terrible taste in men. Oh please, Edge, a self-obsessed whiner like you shouldn't talk. You don't know anything about me or about men for that matter. What the hell is that even supposed to mean? Oh, I don't know, Stacy. Until a hottie like you has been thoroughly edutained, you don't know what you're missing. All those edge puns around this time were ridiculous. Execution. What do you say you and I blow this taco stand and leave these title thieves to sort things out by themselves? Taco stand? I always thought it was like popsicle stand. I might have to change my Titantron to Stacy's for it to make sense. That's it, Edge. You can come out here and gripe about the title all you want, but you can't talk to Stacy like that. How about you and I go one-on-one tonight, and the loser shuts his damn mouth for a week? You're on, Romeo, but let's make it a hardcore match. And don't worry, Stacy. I'll show you who's the better man by the end of the night. Edge still kind of had a little bit of size on him at this time, too. That would go by like 2007, though.
You think you know me?
That run side, that animation. But I don't know, what do you guys' favorite Edge attire? Because, I mean, he had some pretty good looks over the years as far as the tires go, even just the smallest of changes. I really liked his the best way to describe it was like the regular outfit from No Mercy, where it was like the sea green, and he had like the sea green wrist tape. I thought that was super cool. This one is also a really cool one. I think at WrestleMania 21 did he have like this exact outfit, but it was silver tights. I probably like that more than this. It was kind of weird seeing him in, you know, his classic tights. When, I think, he still had that when he was like really built, kind of like last game's outfit. It's kind of weird seeing him wear those kind of outfits, honestly, when he was just so big. And then of course the Rated R camo was also a super cool attire as well. Edge is kind of one of those people. I think there's some wrestlers that just they never had like bad looks really. Like Shawn Michaels, I think. Well, he had that weird Elimination Chamber outfit that was unfinished, which you think he would just be able to get an old outfit that he wrestled in, but I don't know how that worked out. Undertaker, I think for the most part has always had good, really super cool outfits and stuff. As much as I like Kane, I think his outfits just kind of got worse as time went on. You could argue that his later mask look, like the 2001 SummerSlam 2000 mask look with the tank top, was probably my favorite. Why am I not picking this up? Jeez. I think the one from 2002 was also a really cool outfit, when he still had like the half mask and stuff like that. It's kind of weird because that mask, when he kind of half of it was removed and stuff like that, and he was talking about how his career would have been kind of just going down the shitter and stuff like that if he couldn't take the mask off and stuff. And I agree with the fact that when he did take it off, it created a new dynamic for a story, 100%. But honestly, there was, other than for that immediate storyline, he still had the ability to show emotion and stuff like that. Everybody could see the emotion in him when he had the full face covering mask, so he could still do promos and be funny and have a personality and show off his emotions and stuff like that with the mask in 2002, that half mask. But I don't know, I guess it all worked out in the end. I like the Frankenstein look when he was bald and all that other stuff. That said, I wasn't a big fan of the PG era when he, re-debuted the mask and stuff like that. It wasn't the worst look, but it got awful when he turned into Cobra Kane. You might as well have just called him Glenn Jacobs at that point. Hey Kai, I know that Edge and Triple H have been running their mouths. Yeah? But they're not exactly the most trustworthy guys on the roster. Know what I mean? Right? But where is this leading to? Yeah, from everything we've been hearing from the boys in the back, nobody's buying what those ass clowns are selling. It seems like Edge and Triple H are the only ones who think you've got anything to do with the missing title. Well, that's good. Let's face it, compared to some of the stuff those guys have pulled in the past, stealing a title is nothing. Thanks guys, I appreciate it. In the meantime, I've got to get ready for my match tonight against Ric Flair. Actually, that's the other thing we wanted to talk to you about. We all know there's nothing Triple H won't do to try and destroy his opponents, physically or psychologically. Okay, but what does that have to do with my match with Flair? The missing title has got to be the psychological part. And you can bet that Triple H will be accompanying Flair to ringside to take care of the physical parts. So why not make it a tag team match against both of them? I'd love a chance for a little Evolution reunion on our terms. I would prefer not to have a tag team match. I'm up for getting a piece of Triple H and Flair too. Come on, man, we already had a tag match and you seen how long that took. Don't forget, I kept Flair from smacking you with that chair the week before WrestleMania. So who is it gonna be? Randy, we both owe Triple H and Ric Flair some payback from our Evolution days. You're on. Yeah, it's... There's absolutely no way that I'm not picking. Huh. Hey Stacy, you're just smoking this week. Is that a new outfit? Save it, Edge. I'm not interested. I've got a man and he's got a big match tonight against Triple H. I don't have time for this now. Oh, come on, Stacy. What do you see in a guy like that when you can have it all right here? Why don't you step on up to the big leagues? Big leagues? After what Kai did to you in your hardcore match last week, you better head back to the Pee-wees. Ooh. Look, I'm running out of patience with you. Look how that drink machine just says drink. When I told Triple H I thought he was a prime suspect, I was just saying that to set up a title opportunity. But since the title hasn't been found yet, I may as well tell you how it really is. Sooner or later, the truth is going to come out. Kai stole the World Heavyweight title. It's like so obvious. He knew he couldn't beat Triple H at WrestleMania. Jeez, whose side are you on? And even if by some miracle he managed to do it, we all know that there was no way he could defend it against me. But look, just because I know Kai is guilty, I don't think you had anything to do with it. Are you telling me that you were with him every second that night? I mean, didn't you have to find him and Triple H for Bischoff? Well, that's actually true. When Kai is caught with the stolen title, you shouldn't have to take the fall. That is an interesting bit of information. But as long as you stay with him, he's gonna drag you down. Think about it, Stacy. Get away from him for your own good. Uh-oh. I gotta go. Think about what I said, babe. You can talk to me about it anytime. This isn't good. Hey Stacy, what was that all about? Why was there just that like flash just now? Edge was saying... Edge? What was he doing here? He was saying that he really thinks you stole the title. He asked me if I was with you the whole time before the title turned up missing. I mean, I was with you just about the whole time. Yeah? But then we had to go take showers and stuff. Why would we take showers separately? Come on. That doesn't even make sense. But you wouldn't... No, there's no way you could have. Stacy, come on. Stacy, you know me better than that. There's no way in hell I'd steal the title. I don't know what Edge said to you, but he's as good as dead. Did he say where he was going? Wait, calm down, Kai. You've got a cage match against Triple H tonight. You have to focus on that. We can deal with Edge later, or maybe you should just forget about him. I know that this isn't a championship match since the title hasn't been recovered, but you've got to be careful. Triple H is still furious about WrestleMania, and he thinks you're responsible. Ooh, good luck out there, Kai. I'll see you soon. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know what the hell happened with my match with Ric Flair in the tag team match. Like, I picked the option and I don't know, I must have accidentally somehow cut it out of the video feed or something. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I picked the option and then I don't know, so and she even mentioned last week about how I had the match with Edge, so I don't know, did the game glitch? I mean, that is so weird. Man, look at that Triple H walk. So yeah, I mean, sorry about that. I honestly, now that I just don't remember having the match or not. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I don't know, I guess this is what happens when you play too many games in a week. Jeez Louise. The Day of Reckoning series, and in general, I feel like I guess I just had bad luck with it. As far as capturing footage and stuff like that. It's a bad look for me, honestly. But speaking of good looks anyway, but that's an amazing entrance right there. The character model is amazing as well. Well, the walk is a little off. Like I said, something about the Day of Reckoning series with the walks. But I guess, I don't know, I might as well take the opportunity to talk, change the subject to, back to the mid-carders in WWE and the suppression era that didn't, go to their full potential. I mean, Muhammad Hassan, as far as he went, it was very well done. It got heat because it was kind of like one of those telling the truth kind of angles in the way in which, people did judge Muslims unfairly after 9/11 and stuff like that. And yeah, people say, the London bombings and all this other stuff had to do with it, but I mean, come on, they ruined the character. Even if that didn't happen, they absolutely ruined the character when they actually gave him like those guys in the masked outfits and stuff like that. I'm convinced WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 used those characters as the masked man design in that game. But we'll talk about that more when I play that game. But the best part about that character was the fact of, he was angry. He was somewhat justified at certain points, but he was also always kind of in the wrong, because he was just kind of a shitty dude. So, I mean, he could have had a few years left on his career. He could have been a main eventer, really, when you think about it. And it sucks as really due to unfortunate circumstances, that dude's whole career, not just his WWE, but his whole career, I believe, kind of just ended at that point. Really sad. We already talked about Carlito. Chris Masters was someone that I liked, but he had his own issues, and at the end of the day, a lot of people, as much as I like Chris Masters, his booking wasn't very good, and he wasn't very good at the mic, really. The Master Lock Challenge was awesome. I mean, everybody kind of, in the schools were talking about the Master Lock Challenge. He had the awesome body, probably the best physique in WWE history, almost, if you think about it. Because Scott Steiner, you could maybe argue he was bigger, but his physique was just kind of gross. Chris Masters, I think, also had one of my favorite entrances, but I think no matter what, he was just never going to be ascended to main event status, unfortunately. I think another guy who kind of, some people argue was just in bad taste. I thought Eugene was actually a pretty cool character, all things considered. I thought they did it really good at first. They booked them very well. They made it to where it makes sense. It wasn't really even something to be mocked. That he had the support of the baby faces around him and stuff like that. I mean, I think the best way, they described it was, mentally deficient out of the ring, but inside the ring, a wrestling genius. And it was goofy. No, don't get me wrong. It was definitely goofy. But it was entertaining to watch. And it was entertaining to watch him overcome the bad guys and stuff. And I think you could argue that maybe it peaked too soon, and that's kind of why it went down. But I think the reception he got at SummerSlam that year when he was facing Triple H, that was supposed to be the biggest match of his career. It was the biggest match of his career. And it got a poor reception. But I mean, he still had cool moments after that, like beating Kurt Angle for his gold medals was a good one. But then it kind of turned into a joke around, like, I think 2005, 2006. And then he just became a comedy character. And when you turn something like that into a comedic character, it's just in bad taste. And I mean, even Jim Cornette said, yeah, maybe the character would have had legs in the territory, but, WWE, when you're on TV every week, it's not going to work out. And I mean, Jim Cornette isn't the end-all, be-all of wrestling. Classics wrestling, sure. He definitely has a lot of knowledge, but that said, You know, the point I'm bringing him up about it is because, you know, someone who is so hard to please and stuff like that, as far as wrestling goes and modern wrestling and all that other stuff, to him to say it had a little bit of legs at first, I think that's kind of somewhat of a compliment you should take. Coming from somebody who pretty much hates everything, Jim Cornette. But who else? Ken Kennedy was another one. You know, he seemed like he had just bad timing. I disagree. Bruce Butcher said whenever it came for Kennedy to turn it up, and you know, he had his big important matches, he never delivered. I disagree 100%. I thought he had really great matches against Batista and Great American Bash. I thought his matches with Undertaker were really good. I thought he had some really good mic skills as well. I think it was just kind of the wellness policy, you know, taking drugs and stuff was not good for his career, obviously. You know, it seemed like he did get injured at the worst times. I mean, Mr. Money in the Bank, he gets injured. Going to be involved in the McMahon storyline and literally become a member of the McMahon family. Unfortunately, you know, failed the drug test or the wellness policy and stuff like that. And I don't know, the dropping Orton on his head thing, some people might say it's unsafe. Maybe it was just an accident. I mean, it was his first match back. On one hand, it's kind of like, you have to look at it. It's tough to say because, I mean, obviously you're putting your life on the line and you're trusting your opponent. For him to mess up that backdrop and it actually hurt Orton, that's bad. That said, I mean, I think that people should also understand shit kind of happens, unfortunately. So, I don't know. That's kind of up for your discretion on what you think about it. Jesus Christ, I'm mashing this A button. My arm is literally hurting. Like, this game with the mashing the button is ridiculous. Oh, God damn it, my finger slipped. But I don't know, it's kind of ridiculous sometimes, the button mashing in this game. But tell me, who do you guys think was the most wasted talent in the Ruthless Aggression era in the comments? Because, I think there was definitely a lot of up-and-comers that could have been main eventers that never were. And it was usually kind of like the second half of the Ruthless Aggression era, I feel like. Because obviously we've seen guys like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton. You know, they were the early Ruthless Aggression mid-carders that quickly became main eventers and were done well for the most part. Obviously Randy Orton had some hiccups. Why am I struggling so goddamn bad? My stamina! My stamina! Oh... What the hell? This is a strike against the game, I gotta say. Like, trust me when I say I am mashing the absolute fuck out of that A button. And if Triple H wins this match because well, he's kind of not doing anything. If he wins this match because I'm hurt or something like that, or the stamina stuff, I'm gonna be absolutely furious. I don't know, is it my speed stat as to why I'm not moving fast enough? Of course, you know, taking 20 minutes to recharge my damn stamina, so I have to use more stamina. Do the stupid animation in order to, you know, charge up my stamina. Rest hold. A fucking course. Of course. Alright, now I look like it. I swear to God, like I'm not trying to play this on the easy difficulty or whatever. I'll try and turn up the difficulty next when I go next episode or whatever, because I don't know. I look kind of like a chump when I'm getting my ass kicked by someone, and they're just sitting there, standing there, not doing anything at the time. I'll also make a promise not to I will be vigilant to make sure I don't miss any more matches in my footage from this point, guys. Once again, I am sorry that happened. I'm so frustrated with that. Because, I mean, tell me in the comments, is that match I just missed? Because I do record some of this footage in advance. I'm not gonna lie. Damn it. I do record some of this footage in advance at times, and a lot of times I record I'd record late at night, you know, the day before and stuff like that, because you know, I'm usually busy during the day and stuff like that, and I schedule the video for the next day, you know, for Wrestling Wednesday, you know, playing on a Tuesday night. Since I'm so tired at like, you know, 3 in the morning, I have a shitty memory to begin with, but like, you know, doing stuff at late nights and all these different daily videos and posts and games to keep track of and play every night, I kind of forget a lot of stuff that I do with this channel. So I don't know. I forget. I'm more than likely probably somehow lost the footage for that match. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like that's goofy that I would do that. But that said, I mean, I'm not putting anything out of question here, quite honestly. By the way, I'm not complaining about, you know, daily videos and posts and stuff like that. I do this stuff because I absolutely love it. So, I'm just saying, I already have terrible memory issues. So, it's probably just compounded by that. Alright, so we finally did it. Oh, now I'm on the other side of the room. But, with that out of the way, folks, that is going to be the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. But above all else, please remember to have a nice day.